A truly explosive scene has unfolded so unprecedented, it sent shockwaves across the entire nation. In a moment that stunned viewers, the sitting Prime Minister, Karma, was forcibly ejected from the House of Commons live on national television after a fiery and chaotic exchange with Nigel Farage spiraled completely out of control. What began as a routine Prime Minister's questions quickly descended into total political mayhem and public embarrassment. The incident exposed a government in crisis, a leader visibly crumbling under pressure, and a public rapidly losing confidence. It all started with Nigel Farage calm, deliberate, and direct, delivering a scathing critique of the government's failure to manage illegal immigration. He pointed to soaring channel crossings, out of control asylum accommodation costs, and covert negotiations with the EU. His delivery was measured, but every word hit hard. Karma, clearly agitated, interrupted before Farage could finish. But what followed wasn't a debate, it was a meltdown. Instead of offering a response, the Prime Minister launched into a wild personal attack, accusing Farage of inciting hatred and questioning his legitimacy to speak. He shouted across the chamber, his tone escalating into what many witnesses described as a breakdown. The atmosphere turned electric, audible gasps echoed throughout the hall. Senior Labour MPs looked stunned. Reform UK members stood in protest. Conservatives jeered loudly. Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle tried repeatedly to restore order, but Karma wouldn't stop. He shouted over others, waved his arms, and ignored all calls for decorum. Then came the moment that will go down in history. The Speaker invoked Standing Order 43, a rarely used rule, to expel a member for disorderly behavior. Never before had it been used against a sitting Prime Minister. Security moved in. Karma was told to leave. He refused. He argued. But the Speaker was resolute. You have violated the rule. You must vacate the floor. In disbelief, MPs and viewers across the UK watched as the Prime Minister was escorted out of the chamber. Silence followed, long, heavy, and damning. This wasn't a resignation. It wasn't a dramatic walkout. It was a forceful ejection from the very heart of British democracy. Through it all, Nigel Farage remained composed, and when he finally spoke, it was with sharp clarity. This is what happens when those in charge can't defend their record. They lash out, they collapse. Britain deserves leadership, not tantrums. That moment Farage calm, Karma collapsing was instantly replayed across every major news channel, every social media platform. Hashtags like hashtag PM thrown out and hashtag Starmer meltdown exploded online. Clips went viral. Radio shows, TV panels, and podcasts dissected it endlessly on high streets and in pubs across the UK. Ordinary citizens asked the same question. If the Prime Minister can't keep control in Parliament, how can he possibly lead the country? Within hours, Labour was in full crisis mode. Emergency meetings were called. Senior MPs were furious not just over the damage to the party's image, but to the institution of leadership itself. Rumors of succession plans began circulating. Names like Angela Rayner, Wes Streeting, and Yvette Cooper emerged not as cabinet members, but as potential replacements. Meanwhile, Farage and Reform UK seized the moment. They promoted the footage as a historic turning point and launched campaign-style rallies nationwide. Donations surged, memberships soared. For the first time, Farage was being seen not just as a disruptor, but as a credible leader. And what of Karma? He disappeared. No press statement, no apology, no explanation. He reportedly exited Parliament through a back door and hasn't been seen since. His silence was louder than any speech and widely interpreted as surrender, not strategy. Even traditionally Labour-leaning media couldn't defend what happened. Headlines ranged from leadership in collapse to the day Parliament shattered. International outlets from France, Germany, and the US replayed the footage, with some speculating that the UK might be entering a phase of constitutional instability. Legal scholars debated urgent questions. Has the Prime Minister violated the ministerial code? Can he still govern without addressing the public or Parliament? Can the legislative body even function under these circumstances? These weren't abstract discussions, they were live, on air, in every British household. And as flash polls showed a rapid rise in Reform UK support, it became clear the political landscape had shifted, Labour was fractured. Its leader was disgraced, the opposition was energized, but this wasn't just about one man's downfall. It pointed to a deeper rot within the system. Parliament, once respected as the arena of reasoned debate, had turned into a theater of emotional collapse. Karma's rage didn't just reflect personal instability, it was a symbol of a government overwhelmed, out of depth, and disconnected from the people. The issues that led to this moment: immigration failures, delayed deportations, and secretive EU dealings had already eroded public trust. But this moment was the final straw. Now, the nation waits for answers, for accountability, for leadership. The Prime Minister remains missing, but one thing is clear: what we witnessed wasn't just a scandal,